power of the mastermind, the driving force. Any opening thoughts?
No, I did not really enjoy this chapter.
Really?
Why? Yeah, I don't know why.
That's funny. I looked at it as like this was one that brought it all together for me. So
I mean,
it like clicked something in. We're at opposite ends of that spectrum, I guess.
I guess there was no excitement in the chapter. I mean, they did tell some stories.
Yeah.
But
because this chapter was a lot of tying together of previous
yeah,
chapters,
I mean, I guess
so maybe that's why.
Maybe it was like a summary or a recap. I don't know. Go ahead.
It might ring true for me because we've had good groups and bad groups. And
Right.
We're in a good group window, and we've moved out of the bad group window. And with the bad group, sometimes you can't figure out why things aren't quite clicking. And this demonstrates it. I mean, it's just the one person who's not in harmony, as he calls it, or we like to call it on the bus, can break down the energy created by the entire group. And It's kind of literally what he's talking about. And so it helped me understand how important it is to select the right people to be in the room.
You are so right about that, because we went through that, and yeah.
Can't have it. Can't have it, you know?
We've been going through that for probably like 6 years now.
It's been continual that there's always one. It seems like one person will pop in who's always negative or whining or whatever.
Just doesn't like mesh.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the newest on the team, so I'm hoping that I can prove them wrong.
You know, the one thing that I've noticed right now with our group that I just tell people is that everybody in the room wants to be there. And Napoleon Hill, he calls it harmony. You know, they're working in harmony. They're going the same direction. So they have different resources. They have different skills. Sometimes we get frustrated because somebody doesn't have a certain skill, but they have other skills that help compensate, or other skills that we don't have. But you have to be in harmony, and the harmony has to be really trying to look out for the best interest of the group, trying to get the group where it's going to go. Like, that's what the mastermind is. But that's why I think this chapter is so important, is we sometimes, as leaders, the biggest failure that I have is thinking that I can make somebody want to be in harmony. Bring somebody in who's not in harmony, who's not in alignment, and through my energy, we can pull them along. It's not possible. And what it does, it fractures everything for the rest of the group entirely. It just breaks it down. I mean, you guys can think about when your group is in disharmony, when there's the one person, the things that happen around you, the chaos, the talking around the water cooler, the wondering about it at work, the thinking about them at home. It's just such a distraction. And I think as a leader, the biggest question I know I have to answer is, how do we make sure that doesn't happen? How do we make sure that people want to be in harmony? And it's hard. It's because we're all adults. We put on our little mask and we're like, oh yeah, I want to be here. And we all say the things we're supposed to say because we're in our 30s and 40s and we know what it's supposed to sound like. But how does the leader discern what's in somebody's heart, right? Because it is very, very sensitive when you introduce somebody to the group, because they become a part of the brain, is what he's saying, right? So it's a big deal to pick the right mastermind, for sure.
My thought on this, like going past what he was saying, like when he was talking about like Carnegie's 50 men that he had as like his mastermind group, I think in reading this, there could be a very big pitfall though of creating a mastermind like within the office that's just a bunch of like yes people. Like you still need, like you need the harmony and everything, but you need people that are you need to make sure that the group you're collecting also like challenges and pushes you, and not just like constantly agreeing with what you've got going on, because then you'll never grow. So I just, because I was thinking about that, like if I had 50 people like in a mastermind, like that would, like the harmony part of, I think is honestly the hardest, but then you also have to weed out the people that are just saying yes because they think that that's what they need to do to keep their job.
Well, and there's always, we used to talk about this frequently when I worked for government, that you want to actually surround yourself with people who will challenge you. And that's the mark of an actual leader rather than yes people.
Yeah.
Because yes people are useless. It's those people who will say, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Or why aren't we doing it this way? Or why can't we change? Or, you know, whatever brings a different perspective to the game. And that can cause disharmony.
Right.
But I think if the overall arching idea is to be in harmony, it's okay and it's safe to disagree and to bring something and to challenge and say, no, we can do better than this.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely not talking about comfort.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
Agree. He's not, because he's the phrase, you're in harmony in pursuit of a definite purpose. And so the harmony, the alignment, is that you're all going after the same thing. You might not agree on how to do it. You might be a little bit uncomfortable in how you challenge each other, but you're all going after that one thing. Instead of just hanging out, saying yes to keep your job, that's not really going after anything. That's not going after the group's mission. Yeah, and so I think that's a really good thing for both of you to point out, because you can look harmonious without your energy moving the same direction.
And I think so much of it comes to energy too.
Yeah.
If the energy's bad, or there's a tension in energy, or a negative energy, that's hard to work through, because that's the person's innate energy. Like, that's just who they are.
Yeah, what they radiate.
Yeah, and that becomes a real challenge for the group.
Don't
Because
you
the work may be
You
good.
do.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people that I've worked with in my life. Like, everybody puts out an energy, right? But I was talking about this yesterday. I have had 2 people in my life that one was on my sports team in college. One was in my office, and their energy was so powerful, it affected the entire team. But the problem was their energy was so negative, it literally dragged everybody down. The girl on my volleyball team, if she wasn't she wasn't getting enough sets, she wasn't getting whatever, she would literally...
Did you say sets or sex?
Sets. Volleyball sets.
Just checking.
I'm sure she was getting plenty of the ultimate. But she would just shut down, and we could not overcome her energy to win the game. If she didn't want to win, we would not win, no matter how hard we tried. I had a game where I had 25 kills, and we still lost because her energy was working against all of
Everything,
us.
right.
It was
I think
terrible.
the term is magnetic. That's what we use around energy. And you can be magnetic and pulling people up, and magnetic and pulling them down. And some people just seem to have a more powerful energy. But when we call somebody when they're holding you back, we call them an anchor. And you use the phrase "drag you down." Both have the same kind of connotation, don't they? I think that's energy, interesting in the negative energy. And you're right, we can feel it, and that's why it's so hard, because it's not tangible, but it's a sense.
Right.
Exactly.
And when it's not right, in an office environment, how do you go in and just be like, well, your energy's not right, you can't be here anymore? You don't have to, but you're not allowed to do that, I think. But you have to flow the same direction. But the opposite is also true. When everybody is really pulling on the same rope, trying to win the game, trying to get to your monthly target. These things are fun, and they bring joy to us when we're trying to go do the same thing and achieve a goal together. It's fun. You want to high five each other, and the energy is up. It's just harder to get there. It's easier to be that anchor than it is to pull people up.
Yeah.
Can we? I'm curious about your thoughts on the infinite intelligence.
Oh, I'm actually on that page. Glasses. Hold on.
Yeah, refresh me on infinite intelligence.
So,
I read it this morning. I'm drawing.
when 2 or more people coordinate
That's
in
right.
spirit and harmony, basically that big brain
Right.
energy.
They always talk about a church. I always hear the analogy of a church. When 2 or more people come together for the sole purpose of some kind of spiritual connection, that's a church. Doesn't have to be a big to-do. And that's what that always reminds me of, is 2 or more people coming together in harmony form this. It's an energy. It truly is an energy.
Yeah.
Which is why we're so bubbly.
The only thing that made me think about it is when Mark's always like, oh, we got to work together, because sometimes I'm out here, he's over here, and then we come here with this offer, and it's the best offer I've ever seen. It's well, damn.
Yeah, and listening to you like
Yes.
you two feed off each other like that is like amazing to watch.
Yeah. So it's
Isn't that the wildest thing? It's just like
It
the
is.
answer or the solution or the wind like just shows up out of the blue.
yeah. And then we're like, oh my God, that's it.
Because you're sharing a brain, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's describing like literally just attracting that solution to you because you have this mastermind spirit of harmony and great energy, and the solution just shows up. And it's true. Like it's the wildest thing. I don't know about you guys, but we oftentimes have to tell our clients to think positive. You ever have that client where you're like, okay, stop. I hear what you're saying. I need you to get on the bus. This is going to happen. We're going to do this. And then like 2 days later, the super crystal, like super clean offer just happened to my friend. My friend's the negative guy. He's the smartest guy and he's the negative guy. I was like, dude, you put a lot on the line. I get it. You're nervous, but you have a great house. It's going to sell. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, we might have to do a $25,000 price reduction. I don't know if you can afford that. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's a great house. I believe in it. The next showing was a full price offer. You know, I mean, it's wild how those things work out. Sometimes I think we can influence our clients to help them get better outcomes when they understand that principle.
Yeah. I feel like when we have clients who've like maybe offered on a couple houses and they're getting frustrated and they're like, you know, I'm never going to get a house. And then I got to sit here and be like, well, that's very possible, but we're going to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we are.
I think it was a good chapter. I really appreciate the conversation, the insights. Yeah, it was good. It's a fun morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You have a great day.
Thanks,
See
Nick.
you guys.
Bye.
Nick.